trucks. Trucks are a nuisance, and all the engines know that. Trucks will play tricks and cause crashes. The engines have all tried to put a stop to the trickery, but the trucks always win. One afternoon, Normandy backed into the yard to collect some empty coal trucks. The trucks began singing songs.
Normandy, Normandy, boy, silly. He can't pull all of us. Losing passengers holding the bus. After his job, Normandy, you are...
Will you shut up? Roared Normandy angrily.
Temper,
Giggled the trucks. Normandy sighed and pulled its train out of the yard. He passed Gordon the tank engine on the main line.
Gordon's slow. Gordon's green. He looks just like a fresh green bean.
The truck sang. Oh my. Be quiet, snapped Normandy.
On.
Yelled the truck. They began pushing Normandy down the hill at top speed. Normandy was petrified. His wheels slipped on the tracks as the trucks pushed him on. Up ahead were some empty carriages in a siding. Normandy raced straight towards them. Help! He wailed. He crashed into the carriages. He, his trucks, and the carriages were sent flying. Lottie soon arrived with Rocky. The fat controller was on board. He was not pleased. Normandy, what happened? The trucks pushed me down the hill and I crashed into the carriages, moaned Normandy. Sir Topham turned to the trucks. I have had enough with you causing incidents. One more and you will all be sent to the scrapyards, he thundered.
You don't scare us, fat man. More of us will just cause the same problems.
Later, the engines held a meeting at the sheds. We need to find a way to stop these trucks, Edward announced. I've had enough of their trickery, Normandy snapped. What can we do to stop them, though? Gordon asked. Maybe we can ram them off the tracks, Mavis suggested. The other engines couldn't think of anything else, so they agreed. The next day, Mavis collected some trucks and pushed them towards the docks. You'll get what you deserved, she smirked. But to her surprise, the trucks started cheering. On! They cried. Mavis was so surprised she forgot to stop. She switched tracks onto the dockside siding. She ran through the buffers and she and the trucks fell into the ocean. Salty rolled up. Now what'd you go and do that for, Missy? He asked. I was trying to teach the trucks a lesson, Mavis sighed as she sank into the water. I'll pull her out, cranked Cranky. Edward soon arrived with a flatbed, and Cranky lowered Mavis onto it. Edward then set off and took her to the works. My plan failed, Mavis moped. Oh, we'll think of something, Edward sighed. Don't worry. They arrived at the works. Henry was dropping off some supplies.
Those trucks made fun of me after my train got trapped in the tunnel after I thought the rain would spoil my paint,
he said. Edward got an idea. I know how we can scare them, he declared. He whispered his plan to the two engines, and they were both impressed. That should work, Mavis said excitedly.
If it doesn't, we'll give up trying, Henry grinned.
Later that day, Edward collected Scruffy and some other trucks. He hurried off down the line with them. You being blue reminds me of the sea, Edward. You're very, very dangerous, Scruffy laughed. Edward ignored him and carried on. He soon reached the tunnel and stopped with the trucks still inside. Bye, trucks, Edward whistled, and he left. The trucks were confused. He's trying to scare us, Scruffy sniffed. It won't work. The sun began setting, and soon the island was dark. The trucks were still in the tunnel. Suddenly, a cold wind blew through and chilled them all to their axles. They all shivered. He won't scare us, Scruffy stammered. Suddenly, they heard a strange noise.
Oh, what's that? I don't know.
None of them realised it was just an owl and a fox calling together. By now, the trucks were scared to their very last bolts and began wailing in terror.
Let us out! We don't like it here!
By morning, the trucks had quietened down, but were still scared stiff. They hadn't slept and were exhausted. Edward arrived. Hello, you lot. How was your night?
Awful! Get us out, please, we'll do anything!
They all cried at once. Even stopped pushing, crashing, tricking and teasing us, Edward asked.
Yes, even that! Now just get us away from here!
They wailed. Edward was coupled up and pulled them away. It's a good thing you weren't with an engine. If an engine stops in a tunnel and refuses to move, he and his train get scrapped now. The trucks by now were terrified and this added to their fear.
We'll behave, we promise!
They wept. Edward smiled. His plan had worked. The trucks are now well behaved and haven't caused trouble for a long time. But the engines know that sometime soon they'll start all over again.